to serve in the army and I had an accident. I couldn't tell anyone at home. Half of my body was out of the window. You're a boy, you have to be good at math and science. They basically took a knife. If you want to cut yourself so much, then do it right now. I took 10 times. I think it would be easier to say things that I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I...
Today's guest is a Singaporean filmmaker, YouTuber, and a future pilot who took a leap of faith and left the country to pursue his creative career. He's about to conduct his first TED Talk in Sydney, but to himself, he only calls himself a boy. Please welcome Cameron.
Thank you for having me today.
I just want to ask you, like TED Talk wise, how do you even get on a TED Talk?
It was actually an accident because my friends sort of sent me a video of TED Talk in Sydney. So that happened in May, and then the one in Newcastle. It's also in Sydney, I would say. The applications just opened, and then they just said, "What if you just went?" Like as a joke. You never know. You never know. Like you probably wouldn't get it, and yeah, it was really a joke. And I submitted it, and lucky for me, they liked it, and I went through a video and also an interview just to get it done. And yeah, pretty much right now we're preparing for it.
So what do you submit as in your TED Talk, or like that application? Like, what do you actually submit?
So this year's theme is reframe, and so basically it's about reframing things and how you want to reframe certain social constructs or any sort of norms that you already have in the world. And I just basically said I want to reframe social media, just like what I'm doing right now for my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I post videos about my feelings and what I've been through, and I kind of use it as the way to make my journals into something of a visual diary, if that makes sense. And I think more people should do that. I mean, there's a new thing going on called the YouTube New Wave, and there's a good amount of people doing it already. But I think more people should do it, especially younger people like us. You know, we have to be more in touch of our feelings, and I think because we're so wired to consume and short forms, and it makes us so dead inside. And I feel like we gotta get back to being more in touch with how we feel and what are we feeling. And I think, you know, my talk is basically about that. And yeah, there was a bunch of questions on the application that I had to answer. How does it fit the reframe theme? And yeah, I basically wrote something, and then they liked it, and I had to record a video to pitch it to them. And it was like a 2-minute video. That was I took 10 times.
10 takes.
Yeah,
10 takes just to get it out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you need to get on TED Talk, it's 10 takes.
Yeah. I don't have the option. It's just one take, and it's like 400 people over there. So that's gonna happen in October in Newcastle.
All right.
Yeah.
That's cool. You mentioned about the YouTube New Wave. Can you explain what that is?
To be honest, I don't actually know how to describe that. It's more of you'll know it when you watch the video, because you know it's like a thing where people like us, you know, 20-something, they film their life. It's like coming of age, and then they talk about their feelings. Basically, just doing things that I think we're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah, like chilling and, you know, hanging out with friends. It's not something that's like grand and like big. It's like filmmaker thing. It's just something really simple.
So it's kind of like the indie music of the music industry.
Exactly.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Like, what inspired you, and what made you come to this conclusion of like, oh, this is something I want to do?
I used to go to therapy, and that didn't go so well. So the first time I walked into therapy, it was I can't say the name, of course. It was a female therapist, and I remember I had such a hard time. Maybe because I wasn't ready for it, and then I had to serve in the army, and I had an accident, and then they sent me to get some counseling, which I call it therapy actually.
Wait. You had an accident in the army?
In the army.
What happened?
So I broke my leg in the army during an outfield exercise. So I was training, and I just sort of broke my leg.
What exactly happened?
I just rolled down the hill.
Like, oh my goodness, when? Was this in like Tekong or was this?
No. I was already out. I was in.
Oh, like you're in unit and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. No, I was in SES actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was so tough because it was like the first exercise, and I wanted to do something, and I just rode down the hill. Yeah. And
How many months into the course was that? How many months into?
no, it was just 1 week. I think no, 2 weeks.
2 weeks into
yeah.
the course. Oh wow. Okay.
It was like the first outfield exercise as well.
Okay.
So-
You mentioned about therapy, right? So what drove you to therapy? And maybe we can talk about like the past and like how you ended up with all these emotions that you kind of bagged up.
I was sort of forced to go to therapy actually. I think growing up, you know, my parents, they came from Malaysia. They moved over here. So I guess it's sort of a generation gap where, you know, they're hustlers and they work hard, and then for us it's like we have to fit into that sort of way of life as well. And I guess they sort of put the pressure on us, which I don't deny. It's a good thing.
Okay.
It's a good and bad thing, right? I don't think I'll be this ambitious or successful in my way, in my life, if they weren't so strict on me. But
Would you say like the competitiveness came from the fact that like you had to kind of earn your way at every juncture?
yeah. I mean, coming from an immigrant family, I got enrolled into quite an elite school, primary school, and I had this phase where when we go to primary 5, there was this banding thing.
Okay.
I got into one of the best class, but I
Wow.
didn't have any friends. Yeah, it sounds good, right? But when I got there, I was like basically like left out because, you know, they're saying like, oh, foreigners take up all spots, and you know, there's a bunch of Chinese people and like people that are not Singaporeans, they're in the class. And yeah, I think that sort of started the whole thing, I would say, because I was going through this thing in school and I couldn't tell anyone at home because we're not wired to do that. You always
The
go
typical Asian family.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you know as well.
Yeah, man. So
And
how was life growing up like within that typical Asian family, and like were there things that you couldn't say, and what were things that you kept in?
I think it would be easier to say things that I can say.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I couldn't say. I think even now we're supposed to be happy, we're supposed to be normal, we're supposed to be not sad, and I guess it's the same at home. It's always study, and then you have dinner with your family, or with my family. I have dinner with my family, and then you go to sleep at 10. That's it. So I don't know. It's all about
Everyone is basically separated doing their own thing. You
Sort
just
of.
come together for one event, and then after that, like it's all broken up again.
sort of. But I think for the longest time we pretended that there was something to come together for, which I think is such an Asian thing. Like if no one says it, then nothing's wrong, you know. And I think that's sort of like the theme of what has been going on in my family. And that kind of drove me to want to talk about things, because there's only so much you can keep inside, and it gets so suffocating at some point in time, and you just don't know who to say to, how to say it, and where and when, you know. And I don't even know how I got into therapy, to be honest. I think it was a friend that brought it up, and like, why don't you try therapy? And I just went, but it wasn't a good experience. I went once, and then I didn't go back, and then the army sort of forced me to go. So I'd say, you know, the army gave me one good thing, I guess.
Therapy.
Yeah.
As a kid growing up, right, I was always kind of like the kid who also got kind of punished at home. Was there anything like that back home for you?
Yeah. If you think about Malaysian and Asian, that sort of treatment, you can think about everything. I mean, there are certain things that I don't think I can say because I think it's illegal right now. But you know,
what were their stories about?
The basic ones are like, you know, I got caned and I got slapped and I got scolded and, you know, I got things thrown at me and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So
How about the more hardcore?
half of my body was out of the window.
What?
Yeah, 16th floor.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
the place that I'm living in right now.
Oh, the place that
Yeah,
out of the window.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
How? Like someone held you out of the window?
Yeah.
And what was the cause? What was the trigger?
I honestly couldn't remember, but it was like, do you want me to throw you out of the window? That kind of thing. Yeah, that's all I remember actually.
These must have caused like a serious like hurt and trauma to you since a child, right?
Yeah, my family hasn't had the most smooth sort of experience, I guess, because growing up, I was always at odds with my dad. And then my sister was always at odds with my mum. So it's sort of like a crossover. And I always think that I always hated my dad when I was young, and I always thought that he doesn't care about me. And, and I always go to my mum. And I think they sort of recognized that, and they said, oh, you don't really care. And my dad is always saying, if I'm not strict to him right now, then it's like...
basically preparing you for the world.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
Typical Asian
So
father, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I think nowadays, like even with us, right, with me and my sister, it's always like you're hard on your sister because you're like, I'm preparing you for the world.
Yeah.
That's how it is. You mentioned that you have 2 older siblings, right? Was there any point in I guess your life where observing them, you kind of realized that something's up here?
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing sisters. I couldn't ask for more, actually. I actually look up to my elder sister. And then, so the second sister is more like the quirky, funny one that you can hang
Middle
out with.
child.
Middle child,
Yeah.
exactly. For a while, I think I looked up to her, like the elder sister. I didn't know, but yeah.
For a while. That means not anymore?
I think you grow out of it because she's a scholar. She's really smart. We took O levels. She got 6 points.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then if I'm not wrong, she's a scholar at MP for business, and then SMU as well.
Wow. Okay.
If I'm not wrong, yeah, she's like, and she's now an influencer. Like she's doing UGC, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I'm super proud of her. And back then my family always said, your sister got 6 points, you gotta be better because you're a boy.
Typical
always,
comparison mindset.
Exactly.
Always comparing you to your siblings, your
Exactly.
cousins. Oh my goodness, I totally understand that.
And they always say, you're a boy, you have to be good at math and science. Like, yeah. So growing up with them, it's interesting because I think it's also because of them I got more in touch with my emotions. Because I think men, we're so wired to not think. We're wired to be logical, to compartmentalize when we deal with certain things. And I think being with them, although we don't talk much, actually.
Basically, as guys, we are taught to be stoic, right? We're not supposed to say anything, keep our feelings in.
Exactly. But the funniest thing is, me and my sisters, we don't even talk much when we were young. It's I think it's more of like a subconscious thing where I see how they deal with certain things, and you sort of feed off that energy as well. So yeah, super proud of them. And my second sister, she's working for SGAG right now.
Whole family is into media in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. The funniest thing is everyone wanted to do something different. So my elder sister, she wanted to be a businesswoman. And I think my second sister, she wanted to be a radio DJ. And of course, I still want to be a pilot, but we all ended up in the
in
the
media.
video, in the media industry. So that was pretty cool.
Everyone's calling is basically centered around media. That's so like-minded.
Yeah,
shows that you guys are all siblings.
But that's how the world works today as well. It's everything about media as well.
Yeah. Did you ever have a point where watching your parents, maybe your dad and your sisters, were they as hard on them as they were on you?
My dad loved my sisters. I mean, it's a typical, fathers love daughters, mothers love sons. But my mom and my elder sister had a really tough relationship. And
so it's like the opposite, like you and your dad
yeah.
had issues, and then after that your mom and your sis had issues. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Typical
stuff happens, when you put two women together, sometimes things don't get resolved. And I think that was kind of like what's happening in the whole family. And even right now, I think it's just like this. It's the new norm, actually. So I think this was at least 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, probably around there. I'm not sure. And I have a really bad memory. So if I remember it, so
it has to be.
It has to be something.
Yeah.
There was this one day we were all at home, and then my sister's in school, and then basically my parents got a call from the school, said you gotta calm down. So they went down to the school, and then they picked my sister up, my elder sister. And then when they came back, there was a lot of shouting, and so there was a lot of crying and screaming, And then basically the story was my sister tried to cut herself in school. And the school obviously stopped her, and gotta get the parents to come down. And, but I think my dad or my mom went to the kitchen, and then they basically took a knife, and then they said, if you in Chinese, of course, if you want to cut yourself so much, then do it right now.
As a kid, that's not something you want to hear.
And we were just watching it unfold in front of our eyes, and I mean, I guess right now, I mean, for you guys that are watching, or like for us, when we hear it, it's like, that's not okay.
Yeah, that's definitely not okay.
But at the same time, when I think about their perspective, they grew up not knowing things like mental health and like things like cutting us. Like, there's nothing. There's
basically all seem normal at that point in time.
Yeah. No one deals with this kind of thing, and they're just not wired to deal with these things, and they don't know what it is. And I think that's how they dealt with it. Although I think it's not the right way, but I think that shaped me into who I am, and into sort of me thinking that I can't say anything in this family because they won't understand. Because what if I get the same treatment? Yeah.
You had no room and basically no grounds to say anything. How did that feel for you at that point in time, and how is it like a catalyst to what you do today?
I sort of just closed myself up. There was a period of time where I just go home and I just study, and I put so much effort into studying just because the energy had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And so PSLE went past, and I went to secondary school. My nickname in secondary school is actually emo boy. Yeah. So because I could cry on cue.
So it was just for the crying.
It's like very emotional, like up and down. Sometimes I'm like giggling and laughing like a hyena or something, and then the next hour or something, I see something on my phone, and suddenly I go quiet, and everyone's looking at me like, wait, what's going on? Yeah. So I guess there's a lot of things that I didn't say, and I sort of didn't know how to deal with it. So this is the way that I went to, and when I went to do my diploma, it got a little better, but more toxic because I went through a breakup that I think it was my fault, and didn't really process that really well. And sort of kept everything inside, did all the vices, all the bad habits. My relationship with women wasn't very good as well. So combine everything, and I said, this has to stop.
You seem like a pretty academic guy. Like, you seem like you're quite smart. Like, why YouTube? Like, you could have done anything else, but why YouTube?
I mean, I guess everyone had that phase of wanting to be a YouTuber, no? Watching Simon, PewDiePie. Those are the people that I watched. And I guess I just didn't do it until I met this guy, Luke. He's one of my best mates, and he has a YouTube channel. He does
Shout out to Luke. If not, you wouldn't be where you are today.
And he does a day in my life, that sort of videos. And we always hated it because he would shove the camera in your faces, and we were like, can you not do that?
Basically, he was like vlogging the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't say the whole time, but yeah, sometimes when he does it, we are like, and then
does he force you to be in bits and like just to make people laugh and stuff?
No. It's really like just organic, authentic.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we graduated, I sort of made, like, he said, for the longest time he said, why don't you try YouTube? And then I was like, yeah, why not? And then back then we were all, like, me and him, we were obsessed with this guy called Kelly Wakasa, big guy in New York City. And so my first video was reacting to my results, my GPA. Yeah, so my style, which
How do you do? How did you do?
I cringed so hard. The other day I watched it back again. I cringed so hard. It was for first video I think it was okay, but it was like, you know, we all had that one.
We all
video.
have that one moment. We all have that first video.
But hey, you gotta come from cringe in order to make it into something. So
I mean, you have to get comfortable behind the camera and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and it sort of went on and on and on. I started uploading every week because, you know, you had that sort of period where you don't have anything to do in between graduating and waiting to enlist.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like 6 months of doing nothing.
So you're just doing YouTube the whole time?
I was posting every week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which I didn't know how I do it.
And how long were your videos?
It depends. It depends. But the production value definitely wasn't very high. It was just like cut and paste, cut, you know?
What were you using at that point in time? Like, was it like Premiere Pro?
Premiere Pro,
Premiere
yeah.
Pro, okay.
Because our school provides Premiere Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I had to learn everything and had to film everything. And yeah, basically my videos were the same, like a day in the life of a barista. I was a barista back then. And then, yeah, just funny stuff. I had a Hell's Kitchen cook-off. I love to cook, and I love Hell's Kitchen. And then one day I was like, hey guys, why don't you come over and we do the cook-off? Yeah.
This was at your house?
I was also at a friend's. At a
okay.
friend's. Yeah, and yeah, that was the sort of the videos that I started. And then I came across this guy, Wholesome Simon Kim. And this filmmaker from Oregon, Natalie Lynn. And yeah, they basically kickstarted. I would say they kickstarted the whole YouTube New Wave thing. They basically Natalie does this indie film series called Borderless.
Okay.
Where she bought a van, then she renovated the van, and she
van life.
Yeah,
Oh,
van
okay.
life,
Okay.
exactly. And then she went around the America. Yeah, like went around doing nothing, just traveling around with no plan. And then she talks about how she struggles with her mental health and the fact that sometimes being on the road is so lonely because you're on the road with no destination. And yeah, I think I sort of feed off that energy and I'm like, hey, like this feels nice. Like someone else out there understands how I feel. Like not the road part, but like the part where it's lonely and like you don't know who to talk to.
You're by yourself, basically.
Yeah, and it's like
there.
you're so into your head and you don't know how to get out of it. And I'm like, wow, like how do you make films like this? How do you
Put the
recreate?
emotion into the video.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, make the person watching the video feel exactly what you're feeling and also relate to it. And
Yeah. I think that's amazing. Like when you actually feel like what the creator is going through, you just unlock some.
That's the best kind of videos actually. And I guess one day I just started making one of those videos. I remember it was like, watch this if you're ever overthinking, and like closure and letting go. That was one of my favorites before I started putting more effort into like editing and filming. Yeah, closure and letting go. It's, as the title suggests, it's about relationships and like letting go. Yeah, so that was one of my favorites, and it sort of became a theme. I guess I never stopped ever since, and it's came to what makes you feel alive and the art of slowing down. Yeah, pretty much.
You created a video called "The Right Person at the Wrong Time."
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to share a bit more about like where that came from? What was the inspiration behind that, and was that because of a relationship, and how did that go down?
This is very raw, by the way. I met this really special person last year. It was an accident. Yeah, my life is full of accidents actually. And I met her and we really clicked, and I thought she was the one.
Okay.
I really thought that I was gonna marry her and things were gonna go well. My parents love her, and my siblings love her as well. My friends love her as well. It's like the kind of person that you just can't find anything wrong with them. And then, yeah, life was perfect until I went to Australia. Long distance was okay. Like, it was really okay. Like
Okay.
she was working full time already because she graduated university already.
So you guys did LDR pretty well.
Yeah, like no, just for a month because I left in February and
Okay.
yeah, we ended things in March. And basically, where it went wrong was we avoided the question of how are we gonna move forward from this and what is our future gonna look like.
So it's like an endless path where both parties did not know where we were headed to, where the end destination was.
I wouldn't say so because I knew where I was gonna end up,
Mm-hmm.
but I think where it went wrong was she basically wanted her future to be us,
Okay.
whereas I tell her that it's supposed to be you because you have to be you in order for there to be an us.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I always told her that if I wanted to focus on us only, I could have stayed in Singapore. I could have joined Singapore Airlines as a cadet pilot. That was always a path. And that was the easiest path because everything's paid for. And Singapore Airlines basically pays an allowance for me. So basically everything's like free and you get a license, but you got to work for them for 7 years. And
It's basically a bond, but you
Yeah.
have a job basically doing what you
Yeah.
like, right?
it's like the safe path. And
Yeah.
basically if I wanted to, do this, I would have stayed. You wouldn't have to, do this. And yeah, so we went through a whole back and forth of how she wants to move here and her ambitions, which were never going to work in Australia. Which I think a lot of my friends say I was a little harsh in saying that because how would you know? Everyone's figuring it out. I always say figure it out. I even had it on a tattoo, like figure it out. Even my videos it's also about figuring it out. And a lot of my friends say maybe you should have given it a little bit more time to figure things out, which yeah, I agree, but at the same time I think it has to be done because I think that's what's necessary, which I don't think I'll be able to do if I didn't have this YouTube thing. Because yeah, back to the whole video thing, right? Because I'm making all these videos before the right person at the wrong time.
Yep.
It helped me get more in touch with who I am as a person, how I'm feeling, and what I want. And I know what I want, and I know that what's right and what's wrong. And maybe that's a little selfish to put it on her, and but definitely that became the thing that caused our breakup, and we split up. We're on good terms.
Was it
fortunately.
more like you didn't want to waste her time with it and you realized that, okay, hey, like...
No, I didn't want her to look back 20 years later
And
say,
feel
I
like-
regret this.
okay.
Yeah, I told her the same thing. I said, I don't want you to move over here and then realize there's nothing for you, but you're staying because I'm here. And then 20 years later...
So she wanted to go over to Australia with you because of you.
Yeah.
And that might not have ended.
Yeah. And...
That's very thoughtful, actually.
Yeah. A lot of people... I'm pretty sure that everyone would say, oh, like...
Yeah, no, if it
that's
was
really
me.
good.
Yeah, if it was me.
Like, you're moving over here for me. Like,
Yeah.
That's so good, but... Yeah, that's so good, but what about you?
How do you detach yourself from the optimism? Because you're a guy who likes to figure things out, right? You're like, okay, we'll figure it out. How do you detach yourself when it comes to the relationship in the sense that, like, hey, let's go over there and why not the both of us figure it out? Like, why did this not play out in your head?
I think I sort of realized that life doesn't work the way sometimes we think it's supposed to be. Maybe it's the realist that it's talking back then. But also I think it's just a series of things that happened in the past and that made me realize that, life is not a fairy tale that everyone imagines. And it's going to be tough. You're moving your whole life, which means you're not going to see your family. You're not going to have any friends. Things are going to be tough. And then finding a job as well, because you're applying for a visa. You have to have money to rent in Australia. And then going around, you got to have money, and nothing's going to drop from the sky,
Definitely.
And initially when I asked her, she said wedding dress fashion.
Oh, okay.
She is a maritime studies major. And I was like, wedding dress? That doesn't work. Like, I have this tendency of tuning out my emotional side when things need to be logical.
INTJ.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'm also a very emotional person. But I think it's also because just because of all the nicknames that I got last time.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And I sort of like, I have to change it. I have to act nonchalant. Like that's the word right now, right? I have to be nonchalant. And
What's your split between your T and your F?
51-49, if I'm not wrong.
Ah, okay. So you're
Yeah.
somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
I'm emotional in a way where I can cry every day in my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, that's not a shameful thing.
To let out emotions,
yeah.
to release.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that like people that's what people don't actually get, right? Like you're always taught to stoic,
Yeah.
like keep
Yeah.
it all in. This
Yeah.
is something new that you've unlocked, and yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like a love-hate relationship because sometimes it helps me release. And then sometimes it's like non-stop and I'm like, can you stop? Yeah. And then the logical side came out, of course, for the relationship. And in that moment when she said it to me, I was like, yeah, you just want to move over here because I'm here. Like you can tell.
But isn't there that part of you that feels that like that is romantic? Like that is something you want your partner to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't deny that I'm still trying to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been almost 6 months.
Oh wow.
Almost 6 months.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get over it. It's like when I ended things, I still had a lot of feelings for her. It
Mhm.
wasn't because I lost feelings or I met someone in Australia. No. I still had a lot of feelings for her, and to really let go, I think I'm proud of myself for doing that because I let go for the greater good.
You saw the future for the both of you, and you made the decision for
Yeah,
the
which
both of you.
some people will say it's selfish, but okay, but as long as it made sense to me, that's all that matters.
In hindsight, isn't it like the most selfless thing you could do? Like you definitely wanted her as well, right?
It depends on where you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if I say it, I'll say I'm being selfless.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe to someone that's watching right now, they think that, oh, you're so stupid, Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's talk about your move to Australia. So you just, timeline-wise, you just broke up, right? You went over to Australia to basically pursue this pilot career, to basically have a clean slate restart. How did that feel, and like what drove you to do that? Like where was the tipping point?
No, did you know that Australia wasn't my first choice?
Oh,
Yeah,
wasn't?
France was my first choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to join Airbus, pilot. And
So it's always motivated by the pilot dream.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Why
But
not America? Why not with Boeing?
Boeing? See, in hindsight, it was a good choice, no?
Yes.
All the scandals right now. But no, because I feel like I've always seen, back then when you're young, you always see America as this like godly country, and it's
Yeah.
like like the sacred.
We've all had
land.
that phase. We've all had
Yeah, like New York looks like heaven,
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought I could even dream about America, which right now it seems stupid. But yeah, but it's always France. I don't know if I wish I could tell you why France, like why specifically France. I don't know. It just came and I just got set onto it. But my mom, when I sort of floated the idea, my mom freaked out because there was this period of time where there was a lot of terrorist attacks in Paris, and there was a lot of shooting and everywhere. And my mom was like, "No, like no, hell no."
Yeah.
So that idea didn't land, and then my poly had this affiliation with the uni that I'm in right now, UNSW. And basically we can join and then we can do credit transfer. So I don't have to take certain courses right now. And I was like, oh, why not? Australia, perfect. So yeah, chose Australia. a lot of Singaporeans move there as well. So I think it says a lot about the country.
It's like a second Singapore, right? Like you have a small Singaporean community.
I'll leave it up to people to think about that because I don't want to say anything bad about Australia. But yeah, Australia's amazing actually. Like hands down, Australia is one of the best places I've been to. Then again, it really depends on what you like because I prefer the slow life. I feel like Singaporeans, we're always rushing to the next thing. Like, you know, you're always rushing to work and then you're always rushing to lunch. You're always rushing to...
You're rushing everywhere, basically.
You're always rushing, yeah. And why are we in a rush? Like, we have this finite amount of time to be on this earth. Why don't you want to slow down? Why don't you want to do, you know, things more intentionally? And I guess Singapore was always a bubble for me. You know, we're the safest country. I don't take that for granted. We're the safest country. We are also really connected. Although it's expensive, it's not as expensive as it is in Australia. As compared to Australia, the food here is like $6-7, and I used to complain about it. And when I go over there, it's like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't get food all day, right?
Yeah.
Like it cuts off at a certain...
9 to 5 actually. Some days it opens slightly later on Thursdays. It's called Shopping Thursdays.
Wow.
And yeah, there's a lot of things that I always appreciated about Singapore. Don't get me wrong. But I thought it was time to get out of this bubble and try something new. And I think it was like a way for me to start anew because of what happened over here. And I think I needed something. I needed to, you know, just reset and, you know, try and become a new person, which I wouldn't say I'm a new person. I'm just a more improved version of myself.
Basically, you were finding yourself in Australia. You were finding, leaving everything behind.
Yeah.
Starting afresh on your own and figuring out without bias, where you're going to hit to.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, of course, I wouldn't have done it without my parents. You know, they're definitely a big support behind this. And so thanks to them, I get to do this, figuring out my life, figuring out what I want. And I think Australia has sort of opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I met a lot of amazing people, amazing people. Shout out to Aiden. He's an editor for Yes Theory. Okay, funny thing.
Oh, wow.
Funny thing is, I haven't met that guy yet, but he's inspired me to do a lot of things. He's created this thing called From Me to You. And basically it's about connecting storytellers and people that are figuring it out, come together, form a community.
That's like what you guys were doing the other day, right?
Yeah, Bedroom Bunch. We hosted 30 people. It sold out. I was so surprised. It sold out in 2 days.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
30 people came together. I never knew Singapore had so many talented people. There's this guy, Declan. He has 190K on Instagram. I never knew he existed, you know. And there was this 15-year-old Ethan. 15-year-old making cinematic films. He came up to me and he said, I want to make stuff like you do. And I'm like, that's crazy. 15 years old, you know? Yeah, and people like Sky and Phoebe, my friends in Sydney, they really pushed me to go and achieve the things that I wanna achieve. And I think I wouldn't be able to do half the things I did if I stayed over here. So I think it's necessary. It's necessary.
Back to your YouTube career, right? Like, how has it been? Like, where did it start and how is it going and where do you see yourself headed to?
It's tough sometimes. You know how being a creator is one of the loneliest jobs you can ever
definitely
have. You're always creating, you're always thinking what's the next one. And I think I sort of submitted to that algorithm chasing thing, or like gratification. I post it every week because you got to attack the YouTube algorithm. So it pushes your videos out a little more. And so definitely it was tough. And even now I post once a month. I'm actually taking a break right now. I haven't posted in 2 months, and it's tough because you're always thinking like, wow, how do you outdo yourself? How do you make your audience feel something different this time? Something that makes them go, wow. But at the same time, it's like, how do you keep an element of you in that video, you know, that you don't lose that? And I think I struggle with the first part is how do I make things that it's something that is relatable? Because I feel like I don't make it intentionally. Like I just
It just comes out.
yeah, it just comes out. I basically combine a few of my journal entries. I write my journals on Notion, and I combine them into something. Most of the time, it's, let's just say, like I write it for a week. Most of the time, it's because of a single emotion, and it makes it so much easier to write. And I combine them, and then I make it YouTube video appropriate.
Speaking about this, right? It's a nice segue into how you actually create your film, right? Like where does it start, and from that journal entry, what's your next step?
I don't put too much pressure on it. Basically, I write my journals based on how I feel, and I don't write every day.
Okay.
I don't write every day. Just sometimes when it gets overwhelming and I don't really want to talk about it yet, I'll write it down. And then once I processed it on my own, at my own time, I sort of will have this, I don't know, spark where I gotta make this. And
inspiration.
And then, yeah. And then I'll combine it, and I'll see, you know, how do I fine tune it, and I'll just go somewhere. Yeah, I don't storyboard my videos. A lot of people are very shocked because they think that it's also planned out. It's like scene. But like most of the time, if it's in my room, I'll just think of which angle have I not shot before. That's all, and I just turn on the camera. I just do whatever I want, and then if I find something. So my latest video on my first film series. So I'm starting a new indie film series called Tether. And I posted the first film. It's called I Almost Forgot This Was the Whole Point. It wasn't scripted. I wrote it at the end of my trips because I travel a lot in May. I went on a road trip to Brizzy with a few of my mates, and then my parents came as well to visit, and then I went to Canberra with another bunch of my mates, and then at the end I was like, I almost forgot this was the whole point, to have fun, you know, to have experiences like this with the people that you love. Okay, but my mates, they were like, I don't love them yet because I just met them 3 months ago. At that time, it's like having experiences like this. It's so important because it makes you. It's your unique experience. And yeah, I remember I just put my camera everywhere. Like if I see something that's worth capturing, I'll just hold it there and I'll record. It's always static. I don't really like to move around much. So
video log of your memories, basically.
Yeah, sort of. Like where I've been to and what kind of emotion I'm trying to capture.
Okay.
I noticed that I like to capture water. Water and trees.
Why?
I don't know. I think I know. It has this sort of calming feeling.
Okay.
When you look at water, like maybe one day, I don't know, you can try it, or you know, the people watching this can try this. Just go to the quietest beach you can find where there's no chaos. Don't go to somewhere it's like packed.
Yep.
You know, of course, like just go to somewhere, or even better, go to Australia. And then and then just sit down there and then just watch the water hit, and then you. There's this spot that I always go to. It's at the Opera House, and then you walk into the Royal Botanic Gardens, just right beside. Stand there, and you'll see the water, the waves, and then there's always the ferries going around. So sometimes it goes a bit more, and then sometimes it goes a little less, and it just sort of
calms you down.
Yeah, it sort of calms you down. It helps me
completely
think sometimes.
Zen mode in.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sometimes it helps me think, and yeah, it was the same spot where I filmed the right person at the wrong time.
Oh, okay.
I sat at the hill, and it was facing towards the water, and it was at the Royal Botanic Gardens. It was an amazing place.
Lots of interesting cameos of different locations.
Yeah. I don't plan where I go. It's just if I see somewhere that's like, oh shit, I have to go, and I'll go, and I'll sometimes I take a look at it and I don't film anything, and sometimes I do, and then I just piece it together. It's nothing fancy actually. It's just writing journals. I don't intentionally make them, which is what makes it so
raw,
effortless and raw at the same time, yet authentic. Because I always wanted to keep the element. I don't want to chase the algorithm, which is also what my TED Talk is about. So yeah,
I noticed that there's a bit of a switch in the style, right, of your videos. Like, so what happened that caused that switch?
The YouTube new wave happened. Definitely. I wouldn't call myself a YouTube new wave, although a lot of people say that I am. But my inspiration definitely, hands down, Natalie Lin. Without her, my channel wouldn't have existed. Simon as well. And yeah, it's a switch from the funny, quirky videos to this sort of a little depressing and more emotional. Definitely they're my two biggest inspirations. And then my shooting style, I would say Gox. Pretty sure everyone knows Gox at this point. And Natalie as well. It's just Gox and Natalie. Yeah, and then
Two biggest inspirations.
yeah, they went on this creator camp film fest thing, and they were speaking about how to create with the CEO of Patreon, Jack Conte. Yeah, so I was
Very
like,
inspirational.
yeah, I watched it and I was like, yeah, that's totally like what I want as well. Yeah.
Definitely. Let's talk a bit more about your TED Talk, right? Maybe we can dive into what your TED Talk is about. Like if you have a preview for us, like what it's gonna be.
To be honest, I think I should have started writing it already. So Theo is like a speaking coach.
Okay.
That we all have to go through.
Everyone who goes for the TED Talk has to go through this person.
Just for this one, I think.
Okay.
Like for Newcastle.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna chase me for it. But I haven't written anything. I was gonna use this trip to help me write, but things happen. I actually skipped school to come back. So I'm skipping a week of school, and this week is my study week, and then I have an exam when I head back. But yeah, about the TED Talk.
What's the idea?
The sort of idea would be trying to recreate my videos.
Okay.
My sort of line that I think I would go for is almost like a biography of me, but narrating my videos.
Okay.
You know, like talking about what I went through and who I am right now and what I'm doing right now and why you should do it.
Why reframe social media? Like, what is it? Why is it so important to you that social media gets reframed?
Because we all know how social media is right now. Yeah, we all know. I don't have to say much. Dances on TikTok, stupid trends, stupid pranks on New York City subway. The other day I keep seeing these videos of this person. Basically, it's all skit.
Yeah.
But he takes people's phones and he throws it around at the New York City subway.
Oh.
Yeah. And then one day he got into trouble because the police was there and they thought it was like a real thing. And then, but people dig into that. That video I think had like 100K likes or something. Like people dig into
It's the anticipation of what's gonna happen after that.
Yeah.
That keeps the audience attention, right?
And of course, like, definitely I think those. Let me pretext this. Every creator is talented. Like
Yep.
I feel like they're doing their own thing. They deserve a lot of credit for their craft.
Yep.
Singapore as well with Imran.
Yep.
He's doing great things. He's a funny guy as well. But, you know, I think social media has to be more than that because we're sort of forgetting everything that's long form and everything that is that forces you to feel something. We're so wired to
The short form content.
doom
scrolling basically.
short form, and you know, like Imran, like the short collar thing. Like we're so wired. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy those videos as well, but
There must be more than that.
yeah, when are we gonna come back to what we're supposed to do, which is to feel something? Because you gotta admit, when you doom scroll,
It's just instant gratification and that's it.
Yeah, and what do you feel in the end?
Nothing.
You go to sleep and you feel nothing, and
Nothing memorable. You don't remember anything
exactly,
from it.
exactly.
Yeah.
I can tell you 10 long form videos right now that I remember because it made me feel something. I couldn't tell you one short form.
Yeah, it's just there. It just exists to basically fill the void, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing much.
Yeah, I'm not saying that short form shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Because I laugh at short form videos right now. Sometimes, like, you know, the memes and the pranks and whatever and all. But I think people are forgetting the important things, which is to feel something. And we're so wired to doing that, and it gets lost in translation. And you see it so often right now. There's a lot more cases of like people needing mental health support. Where does that come from? You know, at some point we gotta question ourselves, where do we end? Like, where do we say enough is enough? And that is also maybe why the talk comes in, you know. I want to say enough is enough, because the scene in Australia is also pretty similar to Singapore. People make like short form, and then it's always about laughter, banter. Banter is really big in Australia. And then the really popular audio is the Jet 2 holiday thing. Yeah, that's really
That's going
big.
viral now.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's everywhere. Like like when I'm in Australia, when I'm scrolling my TikTok,
It's just every video.
Nothing beats a Jet 2. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's funny, but yeah, we gotta come back to the reality and feel something. And you know, especially the younger generation, we have to feel something. We are essentially the only generation that can change things. The generation before us, they're wired to not think.
Yep.
The generation after us, they're wired to not feel.
So something is missing from every point.
And we're just so happen that we're the generation that is doing something. Look at what we are doing in the world. You know, the protests with, you know, whatever is going in the world, and also YouTube New Wave. Like, we're the generation that can make some change, and I think I can change a little bit around me. I don't want to change the world. I think that's too much. I just want to change that little small bit around me. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Leave the world better than you found it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. I want to inspire the people around me to do something different. It doesn't have to be better, because sometimes what's better for me isn't what's better for you.
Yeah, definitely.
But at least you try something different and you realize something, like you find out something new about yourself. I think that's so important. You feel something.
It feels like if everyone thought this way, humanity would be on an upward trajectory.
Unfortunately, that isn't the case.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So away with the 1 minute doom scrolling, handy plus on basically everything that is masking your feelings, and through with the emotional videos and things that make you feel, bring the emotion back. Is that
Probably. I feel like it has to be a mix.
Yeah.
Sometimes lives get a little too serious. You gotta need the short form. It's a balance. Right now,
Everything in moderation, basically.
Right now, there's way too much short form, and there's not enough long form. It's like people are not feeling at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So bring the emotion back, and basically, long form is kind of coming back and making a new wave.
Yeah.
And back to YouTube culture. Is there anything that you like to impart to basically the Singaporean mindset of thinking, because you used to be a Singaporean, right? So is there anything?
I'm still a Singaporean. Yeah, I'm still a Singaporean.
Just to clarify, still a Singaporean.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything you would like to say to the Singaporean creators, basically to inspire them on their creator journey? Yeah.
Funny how you bring it up, because the other day, Whitney, one of the creators that I met over there, she draws strangers on the MRT.
Oh.
Super talented.
Okay.
I was so in awe. She asked me, what's the biggest difference you think is between creators in Singapore, the creative scene in Singapore versus the creative scene in Australia? Because I'm also going for Me to You in Sydney. It's coming up in September. And so I answered her. I said, the people in Australia, they don't know how to start. The people in Singapore, they are afraid to start.
Okay.
I think that's the biggest difference. And yeah, I mean, that was me as well. I was so afraid of starting, and I was so afraid of continuing as well.
Basically, the overthinking culture, right?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
What you're saying is, in Sydney, people, they might not know the full steps, but they're willing to go into it. In Singapore, it's like you know all the steps. That's why you're not going into it. Is that the reason?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't say overthinking. I would say the fear of judgment as well.
Okay.
And also
Fear of putting yourself out there.
yeah,
What
and
people
the
say.
fear of failure.
Yeah.
People want to succeed all the time. But what's wrong with, one bad video?
No, I mean, like, if you don't fail, you never learn from
Exactly.
anything, right?
Exactly. So I think if there's one thing that I want to, say to like Singaporean creators, it will be, you just have to try it. Sky told me the other day, what's the worst that could happen? And I think, it's nothing grand. Like, it's not something that is like, wow, like a quote. It's just a simple question. Yeah. But I feel like it shocked me a little bit because, like, what's the worst that can happen? But I was like scared of judgment as well. I didn't want to start YouTube. I was so scared, like when you post something, it's like, this guy is, he just wants attention. He just wants.
That's the typical thinking of why people post things
exactly.
online, right?
He just wants attention and he just wants to, be famous.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be like Jian Hao Dan or something. Which
it's funny how you switched back to your Singaporean accent.
Yeah. So I guess just don't be afraid. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And even if you fail, such is life. Yeah, I have it tatted on me. Such is life. It's in French. It is what it is. You gotta fail in order to succeed. Imagine if your life only had good days, and you realize that it's so dull because you wouldn't know
what a bad day is. Right.
But at the same time, you wouldn't know how good a good day is because you're always on a high note.
It's basically neutral to you at all times.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You gotta know the bad things in order to appreciate the good things and know how to work towards it. And I think, but also
the gratitude from it, right? Like once you appreciate a good day, you know how to carry out your life instead of taking it for granted every day.
Yeah. But also, there was this advice that one of the people that I met, I forgot who it was. He said it to me. He said it to a lot of people actually, and he said, when you turn 20, you're a newborn. So this year I'm turning 23 in like 2 weeks. So if I'm 23, I'm only 3 years old.
Okay.
And I had the same reaction as you. I just laughed. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then he said, give yourself a little grace because when you turn 20, you're figuring out your life as an adult. So you're basically resetting your life. Before you're 20, you're sort of set because you have school.
Yes.
Your mom cooks dinner for you, or I don't know. Like you're basically taken care of. But when you turn 20, you gotta do it yourself. So give yourself a little more grace.
It's the pressure that a lot of Singaporeans put on themselves, right?
Exactly.
Like, by 30, like what Forbes, 30 under 30, right?
Yeah.
Or you have to be someone by a certain age.
Yeah.
You have to achieve this by a certain, but
I have to earn enough money to buy a car, to BTO, to get a partner. If not, I'll be too old to have kids.
Yeah, the perception that people will look at you.
Exactly. But what's wrong with it? I mean, we're all just figuring it out. And don't be so harsh on yourself. Give yourself a little more grace. To figure things out and to be kinder to yourself for messing things up sometimes because I feel like we're so harsh to ourselves, and it's not even like I'm saying you're bad. It's you're saying you're bad. And
you're very critical of ourselves.
Like what's the point? You're bringing yourself down for what? And I used to be that person, but moving to Australia really changed that because I think I sort of found my people. In terms of like the creative friends that I met, and they really tried to, I was going through a pretty tough time. It's not sunshine and rainbows over there. Of course, I have my days where it's not good, and they were the reason why. They will drag me out of the house. They say, "Come out, you gotta come out." Like just don't be alone. Even if you don't want to create, just come out. Just hang out. Yeah. And I mean, you could say that you could do the same thing in Singapore, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like, it's because of the fact that I know that they understand me and what I do in terms of the creative things. It makes it so much easier. And I think these are the lessons that I took away from them, that I think that, Singaporeans could do more. If I had these advice, like maybe 10 years ago, I think my life would be so different. I think I would be so different as well.
Basically, we have a long runway. We have a lot of time. Don't rush into things.
Yeah.
Take
don't
your
rush.
time with it.
And also be kinder to yourself. That's
Yep.
the most important point. Everyone's so afraid of failing and being judged, you know, which I feel so much because I'm also afraid of a lot of things. I'm still afraid of failing right now. I'm afraid of failing to graduate, to get good grades, and then I'm gonna embarrass my dad because my dad's like, he's amazing. Like, he worked from nothing to right now. And then, you know, but what's wrong? Like, you're just
What's
just
wrong with
young.
failing, right?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
failing?
You just gotta give yourself a little more grace in figuring things out. Yeah, it comes back to figuring
Back to YouTube
things
culture.
out. We
I think
just
that's
gotta-
all the time we have for today.
yeah.
Thank you so much for appearing on this podcast.
No, thank you for
I
having
think it's
me.
been super inspirational. I think to the viewers, they kind of understand what's going on and like in the social media scene. But once again, thank you, and like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next pod. Thank you.
Thank you.